And we're live. Hello all and welcome back to the Sigil stream. My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie and we are here tonight with the one, the only, Mr. Garrus.
Happy holidays.
That's Garrus with a re,
Very
Garrius.
festive.
The lovely and talented Brea, aka Joe. The talented Sal, aka Erica, in her brand new Dice Shame sweater.
Oh, you noticed?
So fucking cool. And of course, the one and only Mr. Ahmed.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all the children call it favorite time of year. When you're traveling the Asoran wasteland, and you just really need a knife. Ice knife. Merry Christmas, Sigil! Merry Christmas, Invictus!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Hereafter, the First Fire, Chapter 10. That's right. We have been on quite the whirlwind adventure thus far, landing on the shores of an unknown continent, or one that has long since been explored, encountering a myriad of trials and tribulations before arriving at the town of Hythe to encounter a number of bestial creatures and dark dwellers of the Fey realm. And now they find themselves, working with the townspeople, well, some of them working with the townspeople at building better relations for tomorrow and trying to carve their way to solving a mystery in a small way. The mystery of who sort of caused this town's implosion in an explosive way. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
Ahmed, that was genuinely delightful. I love
really
that on
nice.
so many levels.
It was so delightful. And you're also in a different background. Oh, you're muted
You're
too.
muted.
Thank
Did you
you,
say a
Erica.
nasty word?
Also, this is another room. This is
Whoa.
a different room. I've moved the operation into the playroom.
I like it.
So I will be decorating this wall back here. It's gonna get very full of stuff.
Gonna get the proper
Nice.
nerd
Treatment.
backdrop
Yeah, it's
treatment.
gonna be artwork, and yeah, it's gonna
what we have.
fill all
I
this
can't
wall.
wait to see what you hang from that ceiling fan.
Yeah.
Ceiling fan.
Oh, beyond the little Santa lantern.
Yeah, I can just imagine like
Slantern?
45, like
Lantern.
a year from now, it's just gonna
Slandrous.
be like a whole situation back
Oh,
there.
and I like that
Yeah.
Erica's got her cats.
Hello.
There's the cat.
He's less of a hanger around and more of a hanger in front of. So that's his role right now. Oh,
amazing.
good. Wearing black to match the fur that will be very not black, but very visible at some
By
point.
the end of the stream, you'll be like in gray. You'll be like wearing my color.
It changes colors.
Color changing sweater. Speaking of Erica, you're wearing a pretty fantastic sweater there. Where'd you get
I
that
am.
bad boy?
I got this from the wonderful remind me of the website that I got it from. But
Redbubble.
Redbubble, thank you. I was going to say
I
Bubble
think.
Town, which was not correct.
Oh, I wish it was.
I wish it was Bubbletown.
You'll notice that it has a certain reference to a very certain similar, I'm going to say spiritually sister show.
Yeah, Dice Shame.
And
Yeah.
I wish I had the words to tell you all how comfortable this is.
They are
is
really
comfortable,
cozy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The dice may be shamed, but the body is warmed.
And we should. That's a good tagline. Stealing it.
Writing
And
that
Gary,
down.
this is your last stream for a few weeks, and you're
It
dressing all
is.
Christmassy. How are you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm eating way too many Cheetos. America sells just big sacks of just lovely confections, and I cannot stop myself from eating them.
Like Santa's bag of toys, but it's
Yeah,
Cheetos.
but it's just
instead.
Cheetos.
Are you
It's lighter.
one of
It's lighter.
Are you one of these people? And this goes actually to everybody. First off, do you all snack when you're on your computer, or are you like
No.
snack stay away from the computer?
I have my snack of coffee, which is always on
Yeah.
my computer, but I
Yeah,
have more than
same.
once tried to have a sentence spoken when I'm drinking that, so my keyboard does not quite appreciate that.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I'll sometimes eat like a meal, but like I'll have breakfast in front of my computer sometimes, but not really snacks.
Yeah, I'm pretty anti snacks.
Harlan has a fastidious hand thing.
I have a very fastidious hand thing, but I recently saw this advertisement, as the kids call it, for a for a snack holder. What?
You're an alien?
An advertisement. An
Advertisement?
advertisement.
I have heard
For-
people say advertisement and
Yeah.
think it's the correct way to say it.
Do they get paid per syllable?
I do, and so they're like chopsticks for your fingers, and
Okay.
it's so you don't have to like gummy up your hands.
I've seen many people eat Cheetos with chopsticks and popcorn with chopsticks.
Yeah, but then this is like so you can also do it, you know, while you're like gaming. I think the big appeal is like the whole gaming.
You don't grease up your controller or your
I've-
keyboard.
But
You don't
like,
grease up
I've
your
heard it-
chopsticks.
I get it.
in relation
just use
to
chopsticks.
reading, people who
Yeah,
eat
but
when they're reading
the problem
and they
is
don't
you
yeah.
can't
mess up the pages.
like watch.
That makes sense. Oh, oh, do I like that?
The snack
See?
Wolverine.
Yeah,
Oh my
so like you can.
I would stab myself in the
Snackery.
eye. I would
we
like
just
go to
keep
itch my
watching this?
nose,
Well,
and I would
X23
fuck up
Okay.
my eyeball.
So you can like snack while you're gaming, but in like the purest sense.
Keep
Because
watching that.
yeah, let's keep watching it. That's the game tonight.
I hate that it so perfectly sold me on my answer of why not just use chopsticks.
Yeah, because
damn it.
because now you
These
still have
ads are
your
too
fingers,
good.
right?
These ads are too good.
Well, it's funny because my impression of it was the same as all you, where I saw it, I was like, "That's stupid."
Oh, I want one.
But now you're looking
Wait
at
a
going,
minute.
I can have
I-
snacks.
No, but then
I
They
didn't
make
see
it look
So
so
that's
easy too. It's seamless.
But it's for men, right?
It's
This
all-
is what
It's only for men. Yeah. We have
so
to wait
true.
for the gentle
no,
pink
the
version
women's
to
ones
come
are
out.
pink.
I need
I
a
didn't
pink
even think
version.
about that.
3 extra
Rose
bucks.
color.
That's so true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it'll be $3 more. Yeah, for sure.
It's
It'll be
sparkly.
pink.
They're like, we can't
And-
talk
and-
the women into buying this. So
And
just
in the
market
video,
it
they
to
won't be
men.
eating snacks. They'll be drinking wine with their friends. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm a woman.
I
I must
will-
like wine."
You'll
Oh,
be
good
using
point.
that for lipstick and lipstick only. Just a weird, complicated.
That's fucking funny.
But I love how
even
we
think
have
about
the
it.
wonderful the commercial break episode. This is what this is. The Christmas edition is just ads.
Well, yeah, that's right. On the plus side, I don't know the name of this thing. I
need
literally
to.
had to Google
Finger chopsticks?
snack finger chopstick gaming thing. So I
What is
got
it called?
I wonder how
don't
often
know.
you like break the end of
Yes!
the chip you're trying to pick up.
yeah, you got to be real fancy with it, right? Like, you got to be very
Sincere appreciation for ketchup chips. Second
Yeah.
best chip, just under all dressed.
yeah. All dress is great.
I like a good salt and vin.
Yeah, I'm a salt and vinegar
Salt
dill
and
pickle person, but I will say, out of all of the, like, we will buy dill pickle, salt and vinegar, and pretty much every other chip doesn't really come into our house, other than the occasional bag of all dressed. That is the outlier that will come in every once in a
And
while.
the cheesies for me and Hen.
Yeah, I'm not a big cheesy person.
You can't watch a movie without popcorn and cheese.
Best American.
Erica,
I'll take it.
of all the Americans.
All the Americans on
The
the stream.
ones who are most known for liking all dressed and ketchup chips.
Do they? They don't even. Americans
They don't have them.
ketchup
They don't
chips.
have them. Every time I go to visit my
seen
brother, I had to bring him like a care package of all dress, ketchup chips, coffee crisp. I had to bring him the Canadian Kit Kats. 'cause,
Wait, they
I've
don't
heard
got
they're very different.
They don't
They
got
are.
coffee crisp.
they don't have coffee crisp. That's
never heard of
Canada
Coffee
and
Crisp.
Britain, I think.
You never heard of coffee crisp? We have like 4 coffee crisps
missing out.
downstairs.
Hey,
Heard of
Erica, how do you like
Toffee
your
Crisp?
coffee?
Yeah. Crisp.
Swimming in a drawer, I think. that was the ad, yeah.
Have you never even heard of coffee crisp? They're good. They're
They're
like a
good.
coffee flavored chocolate bar.
There's like a little bit
No.
of
It's like a
I
wafer.
haven't.
with
It's like,
wafer,
you know-
creamy in the middle, coffee
Yeah.
flavored.
Is it
chocolate.
caffeinated?
I
want to
wish.
say
I
yes.
don't know. I don't
No,
think so.
definitely
It just
not.
tastes like coffee.
They're for
nice.
children. Henny
I mean, there's
got,
definitely got a lot on Halloween. I
started.
hope they're not caffeinated.
No
Could you
wonder
imagine?
he's been
All
acting
the
like
kids
that.
are fucking hyper. Yeah, I mean,
Oh my god, if you gave Henry caffeine.
I knew that you wouldn't enjoy, or I knew that Americans didn't have ketchup chips, but I didn't realize all dressed as well. That's sad.
All dressed. They're missing out.
do you not have like an analogous? Like, I feel like ketchup is more or less sort of like salt and vinegar, but with another layer of sweetness. Like, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
You could kind of make a fake of it, but I don't know how you'd make a fake of all dress other than just all dressing chips. Do you guys have an analogous?
Tomato ketchup is that one's in India. India has like a ketchup flavor.
Oh, cool.
And I think Egypt had also a similar kind of tomato flavored chip as
I don't know
well.
about all
sure
dressed though.
the States has got like
Oh,
we
what
have
is
tons of
dressed
kind.
with
We have
what,
like
though?
chicken flavored and
It's
shit.
all dressed. All the flavors.
That's
Like an
No, no,
everything
but-
bagel.
What? Yeah,
No,
no,
it-
that's
it
a
tastes,
particular flavor.
It tastes probably, ironically, it tastes most similar to like probably ketchup and and
It's like a barbecue ketchup vinegar.
Yeah, it's like
all
a-
dressed with sauce.
Yeah.
Like not
Oh, okay.
spices.
well, not sauce.
It's
not a wet chip.
I've Googled it,
Well, no,
everybody.
I
It's
mean,
like
oh, tell
thank
us.
You, thank you.
Tell us.
all dressed chips are staples of the Canadian chip aisle. They
Correct.
weren't sold in the U.S. until 2015
Okay.
So Americans, you can go buy those too.
Do they
But that doesn't-
explain what it
what's in
is?
No, the mystery
That's a good
stays.
question.
It just says spices, all of them.
It's a mix. Oh my god! It's a mix of tomato, ketchup, barbecue sauce, and salt and vinegar.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's what I thought.
I nailed it.
Exactly what you
Great
said.
job.
That's exactly what you said.
Good job, Ed.
They're
It
good.
just sounds like something a proud child would say before they go to school.
So
Just
I
like,
guess
all
it's-
dressed.
So we have
That's really good. Okay.
we have a sandwich.
You got a sandwich?
Crisp and the
We got a
sandwich
sandwich called the
fantastic.
Blimpie near me that they have the Blimpie way is tomatoes, lettuce, oil, vinegar, oregano, salt, pepper.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
like to me that's
The classic
that's, like,
Italian.
what I imagine when I think of all dressed.
Well, you're New Jersey, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Exactly.
You're
The
fucking
next
Jersey.
best thing I can offer is Syracuse style chips because
The
apparently
fuck
that's
is
somebody
that?
in 2019. Syracuse, New York potato chip maker Terrell's, never heard of them, began selling all dressed chips under the name Syracuse style.
Terrible.
That's a rip off.
That's just
Are
if
they
you're gonna do
correct?
it, name it.
Are they
Are they
correct
correct? I don't know.
flavors?
We
Why
haven't
buy
tried the
Lay's
same.
when you can buy Terrells?
Do you know
Get your
Lay's
hands
are
off
called
my damn
walkers in the
Let's.
UK?
Or what?
Lay's are called walkers in the UK and Ireland.
That's the exact opposite of a lay.
We are on fire tonight, guys.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they,
maybe
the
that's
logo.
why. Maybe they're like, I can't call them lace.
The
What, you have
logo
a
even
Lay's?
looks the
I
same.
don't know why they changed the name. They sell some weird flavors, like real like beefy dinner thingy. It's just they'll have these competitions like which tastes the best. And
Lay's
like,
has that too. Yeah, yeah.
shepherd's pie and wine.
See, I don't
Jesus.
mind the competition ones because you're like, okay, we're just getting a little
Yeah.
bit silly. That's
Yeah.
fine. But it's when it becomes an actual standard, non-limited edition type of chip that I'm like, all right, science has gone too far, and we went. We gotta bring
Science
it
has
back.
gone too far.
They're making tons of crazy fucking flavor. I was listening to this podcast. They were talking about candy corn that was all of the different flavors of a Thanksgiving dinner. So you would have like the cranberry candy corn, the pecan
Candy
pie
corn?
candy corn,
you sure not
the
kettle corn?
coffee,
All in
no,
the one
candy
bag?
corn. But then all different color, like jelly beans, right? But then they also had green bean casserole, stuffing, and turkey candy corns.
Are you sure candy corn?
I 100% guarantee
I'm not
you.
doubting you. I'm just
someone
trying to
Google
clarify.
it, but apparently some of them are revolting. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I would try it for
Yeah,
sure.
like, I
You
just
can
was
only
asking.
go up from there. Oh my god!
That's
Thanksgiving
not
candy
right.
corn. Yeah, turkey dinner candy corn.
Yeah, I don't.
And all I can think to myself is there are some places that don't have food, and this is
Yeah.
what we do with ours.
I mean, although some of the flavors are really cool, especially the Lay's. Like Henry and I, every once in a while, we go to like a store that would sell a lot of Asian snacks and stuff like that, and Korean snacks and all that kind of stuff. So we would get like all their cool types of chips. And man,
Oh, like the
you know-
Norishio one, the seaweed salt one.
yeah.
good.
There's so many different
Egg
Although, they're big
chips?
on salted egg flavor, which I'm not.
I kind of like them.
It doesn't
I didn't want to eat
click
the whole
with me,
bag though.
personally. I find that you liked it.
I liked it, but I didn't want to eat the whole bag, and no one else wanted to
They're
eat
big on
them with me.
like pepper flavors, like spicy, a lot of spicy stuff, which is cool. And that really,
They've
I dig
strange.
that.
The McDonald's menu in Japan gets real weird. Like they had a thing called a mega egg and a mega tomato.
Ooh,
The
I
mega
want to
egg
know.
was real big, but it had this real spicy horseradish sauce in it. So I was like, oh, great, they're going to put an egg in it. And it's just this real, or maybe it's the mega tomato. One of them had this awful sauce. And if them make pork, which I think is the McRib.
Did they put an egg in it, though?
think
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Big fuck
What
off
is
egg.
most interesting is that I always thought, and this is a long time, obviously, that song wasn't actually accurate. But I have met now someone who says tomato, and I say tomato.
Tomato, yeah.
I've never, like, literally, I was like,
What's this
no
guy
one says
singing about?
tomato.
Maybe you guys should just call this off.
I've
the
never
whole
heard
thing
someone say potato in real life, which is the
Me
other
neither,
thing.
but-
So
Should
that's
get
my
slapped.
next little.
What, you don't like Lay's potato salt and vinegar?
Yeah.
all dressed-
I've never partooken in them, so I'll let you
Potato?
know.
That's an extra syllable right there, Erica. Just paying you out right here.
Yeah, extra
$1.
money for the extra
right.
syllables.
I figured out one of the reasons that Canadians tend to say caramel a little bit more too is because the other chocolate Americans don't have, which is caramel.
You don't have
I don't have
caramel
that
They
either?
don't have caramel.
Ooh, that's a
What's
good one.
caramel?
Caramel is just chocolate, just like chocolate pockets. Like think of an Aero bar. Do you have Aero bars?
Yes.
Okay, but instead of the bubbles in the middle, it's just caramel.
Like when
like
you
in
bite
there.
it, it like kind
Ooh.
of drips
Yeah,
out.
like a gusher, but like
Oh, well, we've
chocolate
had
and
that.
caramel.
Yeah, like Cadbury. Yeah, no, we have.
Yeah.
that. We just
You don't
call
have
it caramel.
Wispas, do you?
What's
No.
No.
WISPA. Maybe it only is the UK and Ireland, but it was like an arrow, concentrated arrow.
Oh, yeah, we have
a layer
Wispas.
of caramel on the top was the Wispa Gold. I fucking
Interesting.
loved that bar for so long.
Yeah, no, we have Wispas and flakies or flakes.
Flakes.
I think you have
Flakes
to go
are
to
Australian though,
special
mostly, aren't they?
candy stores for those.
you get
though.
flakes.
Yeah, but
and
they're
ice
still
creams.
available over here. Like, there's certain places, like, the States is weird. Like, they don't fucking allow Kinder and shit.
Yeah,
It's
It's
because
that's
the
of the
recipe
food
for
thing.
Cadbury stuff.
It's the
Still
food thing.
weird.
They figured it out though, I think actually, because
Wait,
now they sell
Kinder,
us
isn't
this
that
version where it
the
has
eggs?
a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the toys inside.
prize
Yeah, we have
eggs.
those.
So they have a chocolate plastic brim
have
now that
Kinder
actually
eggs, too.
separates it now. Because before it used to be banned because it was one entirely covered piece of food with something inedible inside. But now that it's completely two halves because they have that plastic brim, it's fine.
Oh, interesting.
So they look like spaceship. That's what they sell. Spaceship Kinder eggs.
That's what they're called?
Yeah.
Spaceship Kinder eggs?
Well, that's what they
The-
look like. That's my new name for them.
Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act prohibits Kinder eggs as they don't allow confectionery products to contain a non-nutritive object. It
a lot
bans
of
the sale of
American
any
foods.
candy that has embedded in
Non-nutritive.
it a toy or trinket.
I mean, all fast food is. It's not just States.
But
Canada's just
doesn't
bad.
Mardi Gras have that like traditionally have that cake where you had the little plastic baby in it?
Ireland
fuck
has-
Tell
I
me
think
you
they
know
made
what
that
I'm
with
saying.
real baby. I
King
think they,
cake.
King cake. Yes, thank
King
you,
cake?
God. I'm validated.
Oh,
Vindicated.
we talked about
Yeah, we
this.
saw something.
Yeah.
If you find the little
Why did
thing
that come
in,
up?
in your
I
cake,
don't
then you
remember.
I
win.
don't remember either.
Or you win like beads.
We have
or
a similar
I don't
thing
know,
in
Yeah.
Ireland for
Or
Halloween.
you have to
You
pay.
get to show your like breasts or something. I don't know.
Something happens when you
If
find
you
the little
find
plastic baby.
something-
If
But
you get the
that-
baby, you have to show your breast.
Huh?
legally,
I
it
don't
should
like
be.
that.
Babies
Not
love
allowed.
breasts.
Here's
Come
a piece
on.
of cake. Show me your tits.
Narlands.
It's like, yeah, let's play tit cake
You
game.
win, but you also lose.
It's the way.
You found the tit, baby. Let's see it.
Yeah. If only the world was more
Holidays are fun.
generalized and we could all just eat everything where you want to eat it.
Well, with Amazon these days, you can kind of.
With Amazon these days, you can find even the rarest snacks at home. Although that's not true, because every once in a while I'm like,
They don't need more advertisement. But I
Amazon.
do think
Jeff
there's a
Bezos.
killed in
distinction.
a tornado. No.
Jeff Bezos
Actually, yeah,
needs our
that's
help.
also about viral too. But the thing I think you should divide between whether or not you have something in a country or not is if it's by the convenience like aisle, like right when you get to the actual checkout, if it's there. Because you'll have the mini bags of chips sometimes. You'll have the little balls
Yeah.
of pop. If you can make it to there, you have it in your country. If you go to the
true.
fancy section of the fancy store,
That's
I mean,
true.
that's not
No.
fair. That's cheating.
No.
Yep.
You shouldn't have to go outside of your normal.
Grocery shopping
Yeah.
aisle.
Although,
routine.
like, at least where we are, it's the opposite. Like, the Walmarts will have the most, like, outlying products, whereas our fancy grocery store Longo's near us is, like, the one that has the least amount of selection.
That's true.
But-
We've curated it to the best ones, and here they are.
Yeah, except they didn't have, like, falafel. They didn't have falafel. What's that?
You guys have Walmart.
Our Walmarts
Yeah.
are very good because we didn't
Our
want
Walmarts are very
Target.
different than your, like,
we
our
have to, like,
Walmart
yeah.
is like Target.
We don't have Target. Is Target good?
Target got, we
Target
did have
is good.
Target.
No,
We
but
got
we
rid-
don't
is there-
anymore.
Yeah, so basically what happened was Walmart did such a good job of already being Target and being Walmart that when Target came up, we were like, I don't
just
want
like,
that.
no one
So they
went
just
to it.
Fucking
left.
took them out back
Because
and
Walmart,
the shit out of them.
Walmart is better than your Walmart. Like our Walmart is your Target. So
We have
when Target
floors.
came,
That'd be
yeah,
nice.
exactly. When Target
We don't-
came, no one was like, "Why am I going here?" It's like a little bit more expensive and it has less shit than Walmart. And
We
then
don't
you
have
got-
Trader Joe's though, which I've
don't
heard
have
is
Trader
very
Joe's.
good.
No, but they sell Trader Joe's stuff.
Or
I've seen like
Kroger's.
Trader Joe's.
This has
peanuts.
been
I
a
got
consumer
$10
report.
shoes from Walmart once. They
Yeah,
lasted
it's still
for
cheap.
a pretty long
They are
time.
good for that. Yeah.
And then they tore open and started shooting confetti out. I don't know. I guess they were made of confetti.
You made it to the Kinder Egg of
There's
shoes.
like a little.
That was
There's
like,
like a
You
little.
won
the
the
third
shoes.
time I went to
Kinder Egg.
Walmart.
There was a little like handwritten note that said "Help me, please." I don't know. It was in some language I didn't know.
I just threw it away.
Christmas
When
shoes
I
my
put it-
ass.
when I finally put it together,
That got me. That one got me.
Speaking of,
What show is this?
Speaking of Christmas, if you like Christmas music, Joe and I
Oh,
have done
yeah.
our own radio show. You can find it in the Invictus Stream Discord under Invictus Radio. So far, we have 3 hours of content, all of our favorite hits, back to back, no ads, and the only ads are fake. And it's a lot of fun. So if you want to listen to that, you can download it directly from our thing. We stream it every Thursday at noon.
Fans call in and leave some
Fans
messages
call in
for
and
us.
leave fake messages, which is really funny. It's a good time if you like listening to that. But yeah, anyway. I love watching our viewers go from like 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1.
It's just the countdown.
Yeah, it's like the countdown.
We're winnowing out all the people who have
don't
better
like it.
stuff to do.
Yeah, it's like
If
whatever.
you can endure through this, you are ready to play.
Now you're ready. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, whatever game we're playing. The four of you stand outside, the cold night air starting to slip in as the sun just sets behind the horizon. The journal from the temple that you found, sitting open in your hand, as you read the words again amongst yourselves, letting them sink in for a moment, their weight leaving a heavy drop in the pit of your stomach. Perhaps there's more to this than you realize. And as you sort of share a look between each other, you decide where to head next. So, again, you're standing in the town of Hythe. You've just read from the diary of the Amazaman Windspell.
That Mr. Thompson wanted to eat with
Mr.
him.
Thompson wanted to eat with me tonight. I suppose he's lonely. He was all manner of disappointed when I told him I'd rather eat in bed and enjoy a good book.
I mean, same, right?
Same.
Same.
Same. Same.
So we
And
have
last we
our
heard-
options.
You have
Oh,
options.
Didn't Thompson go to the windmill? That's where what was his fucking name? The hunter
I've
fellow.
Lawrence Ellis.
Lawrence Ellis. See, that's where he
Fucking name.
outpaced him.
Yeah,
at
he
the
ditched
windmill.
Robert there. Mhm.
Yeah, last time. So
Why
you're
did you get-
you're just outside of the Bulwark Inn right now. I kind of picture Sal's little tent, maybe in that back little kitty,
Beside
back little kitty corner.
There's like a wood pile like up against the side of the building, and
Yeah.
Sal's like co-opted part of that as like one of the walls.
Yeah, exactly. And you're all sort of sharing.
He deserves it.
I convinced her it was sturdy. I was like, "It's good. You have a corner."
falls.
I can put it back up again. I've dealt with tents.
I've dealt with tents. I know what a tent is.
Tent proficiency.
That's a tent, isn't it?
I
That's a
feel
duck,
like that
Sal.
sentence did not inspire a lot of confidence as I was saying it.
No, it's great. But you also haven't slept in a while, so
Yes.
what's your plan?
If we could rest, having just finished interrogating Emmy. Thank you, Emmy Clark. I would like to consider the options around the windmill, because that was very intriguing. That did pique my interest, and we did get a lot of information about the potential banshee, as she mentioned.
Oh, yes.
We slowly pulled out from her.
That's right. And what she had said was that her mother had told her that there was supposedly a banshee up by the abandoned
banshee.
windmill.
Banshee Mansion.
Joe Banshee.
Banshee.
I'm Joe Banshee. Good to see you.
Hi, welcome to Joe Banshee Shoes. Now available at Walmart for $10. And we put a little bit of confetti in each sole. So, some of you have the ability to sleep within the bulwark.
Yeah.
Some of you,
Actually-
I don't want to point fingers, haven't earned the trust yet. And don't seem to want to.
Damn you people and your ability to point out my window.
Maybe if we bring back Robert Thompson, you can be like, hey, look, found him. Let me stay in your
That's
bloody
true.
inn.
You can you can make somebody else a bigger jerk.
I could. There's always
I
that
saved
plan.
someone, you wanker.
Yeah. So, what do you guys
I
want
would
to do?
encourage all of you to go speak with your orc friend, because he did seem to have a lot of information, and that would be a great first stop.
First stop.
Then maybe take a rest and then go leave first thing in the morning.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We go inside
To the inn.
Perfect.
Is there anyone in the inn tap room right now that we haven't met yet?
It's a great question, and the answer is yes. Let us activate this. Activation.
Tavern activate!
Tavern activate. Form of.
Get this guy out of here.
I suppose Sal would come in with you, maybe just to say goodnight, right?
He stands
Can
at
I
the
just
door.
like awkwardly stand at? Yeah, I want to stand outside the door, like sadly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
like,
Looking
obviously
in.
not coming in.
the door's still open. You're like,
Where's-
not
where's
in,
the
not
window?
in, can't get
No,
mad.
no, if I close it.
Here's the window.
Thank you. Just staring at this guy.
It's just like
Yes,
his
please.
dignity. His dignity. I shut the window. The
It's
blinds.
warm. It's warm because it's like on the other side of the fireplace, so like the stone there is a little bit warm. You're just like
Just, like,
huddling up
I
against
guess.
it.
Oh, what could have been?
The rain
Cup of water.
pelting down. Perfect. Yeah, so you guys enter. Sal, you're welcome to enter. He can't stop you from entering. You just can't stay there. And you're not going to bed right now. So, to the southern table, as you've previously encountered, is the small gnome, the younger of the two hunters. This is Lewis Hunter. You sort of got the vibe that he was a little bit shy, but he still seems to be rolling a set of dice and sort of eagerly looking to lock eyes with anybody who's interested in playing with him. And then across from him, near the fireplace, sitting back and plucking a few notes on his lute, you see a bard, a human bard.
Ooh, this guy is interesting.
This is the guy by the fire, yeah?
This is the gentleman up by the fire, yes.
Avar Gardner, I presume.
Oh,
That
yeah.
sausages.
My notes are that Meduline doesn't trust
She
him
doesn't like him.
and that he disrespects her. But that's all we know so far. So that's
I think
interesting.
even Lawrence confirmed that he was a bit of a... Not a nice... Well, at least he was a bit of, thorn in her side.
So maybe we can just sort of take the temperature on him and see if maybe it's possible that he was involved, but he stayed in town somehow. He might know some shit.
I think that's a good call.
Yes.
What approach do you want to take? Your typical go in swinging, or what's the thought here?
Are we flush with cash?
You're drunk. Oh, I don't think so.
We're not super flush with cash. Could be like, play us a song. And he's like, oh, I like doing that because I'm a bard. Yeah. Is he that kind of bard? Is he a bard that like plays songs, or is he just a class that is a
You
bard?
do notice that there's a stage at the bottom part of
Yeah,
the bar.
I walk right up to him and I go, "Play us a song, then." And I hand him a coin.
As if the sentence is at the tail end of your conversation. We'll play us a song then to end this conversation. Yeah, he sort of looks up to you, and you meet his eyes, an odd expression sort of painted across his face. And he sort of looks around the bar. He locks eyes with Lewis in the south, and Lewis sort of like nods emphatically, and Avar sort of looks back down and then shoots eyes to the orc behind the bar. And the orc is like gesturing to the thing, and the bard sort of stands up, and everything is very silent. You hear the punctuation in his moves. He sort of takes a step, takes another step, and then he like stops, and he's like, can I play right here, or do you want me on the stage?
I don't care. And I walk away.
Stage! Go on the stage!
Right. And he like walks over and he takes like another step. It's like painfully slow, and you see Sal like in the window watching all this happen.
Can I roll insight to figure out what the heck is going on?
Absolutely.
We are playing D&D
What,
after
the fucking
all.
role-playing game?
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, 19.
19. Yeah,
my
he's
God.
terrified.
Of what? Of us?
No, he seems nervous to perform.
Interesting.
So he walks over, and again, like Lewis, this is sort of confirmed by the others' reactions. You see Lewis sort of like nodding, like, come on. He walks up to the stage and turns around, and he's like, good evening. Thank you to the folks who requested a song for tonight. I don't know exactly what you're hoping to hear, but
Do you know the Harper in the Meadow?
the meadow. And he like turns
You know
around.
the Rat Maiden from down south?
And he's like, Rat Maiden from down south. And he turns around. He's like, and you can see him like kind of hitting his own head. Like, come on, think.
Played two tieflings when a walking.
I love that one!
Two tieflings. Yes.
You know what we go? You know it. It might be called something different over here. Or in your,
And he
wherever
tries
you're
like plucking a few lines of it to like kind of meet
Yeah,
along
that's
with
it.
your weird singing. And then eventually you can tell he's sort of reaching his breaking point, and he just sort of gives up. He's I can't. And he marches over to you, Kala, and he grabs the dollar, which he never touched, and he puts it back in your hand, and he's like,
Oh,
I am sorry.
okay.
And he walks
No,
towards
I
the
am
bar.
more sorry than you, I say as he walks away.
And as he walks away, you see like the orc being like, Avar. And he's like, no. And he pushes past him and heads to the back.
I turn to
leaves
the
the
orc and I
room?
say, what is his story, orc?
Yeah, he leaves the room.
So you're not allowed back there. I've
Does
learned.
he go upstairs to a room, or he like goes back to the kitchen?
Goes back to his
I mean, give me a perception, maybe.
I will do so. 16.
Yeah, you hear some steps.
Good.
I kind of get the impression that he goes up to his room. Or
Okay.
goes up to a room.
Okay.
Hey, Cole. Is he all right?
He'll be fine. He lost his nerve a few years ago, I suppose. Truth be told, we never actually saw him have much of a nerve. But he calls himself a bard nonetheless.
Have you ever heard him play?
Lewis turns around and sort of like leans on the back of his chair.
Aw.
You know, and he's like, oh yeah, all the time. But not when he lets us know. I mean, not when he thinks anyone can hear. I mean, when he practices, he's amazing. He's so good. He has such a great voice, and he's so confident. But try to get him on stage, and Cole is kind of like,
Mind your business, kid.
and he kind of turns around. He's like,
It's been said that he has talent, but I've never seen it. But he's a nice guy. He pays well. And we try to lift each other up around here.
as he like puts eyes towards the window and the pouring rain outside. It's Sal.
And those who don't lift each other up.
I'm just kidding.
I put away the gold, but then I pull out a copper and I slide it over to the barman and I say, perhaps it was his short performance was worth this.
Well, I'll let him know. I think he'd appreciate that. He's not a bad guy.
It seems he is tortured with something.
Well, that'd be between you and him. I don't get involved in his life. He tries to keep to himself.
Cole, you don't... Would you mind me asking a few questions about him, about Avar?
Sure.
We've heard around town that he's been disrespectful in the past to Meduline.
Huh. Who told you that?
Oh, I believe it was Meduline herself.
Yeah, well, that's not between Avar and Meduline. That's between Avar and Ninjuna. Seems like there was a bit of a relationship blooming there that she put a stop to. She wasn't too happy about Avar's advances.
How old is Ninduna?
You didn't ask. Are you asking the orc?
No, I'm asking the GM.
How old
like,
does
was
she
she
look?
young? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
she's
Thank you.
like
That was the
Meduline's
question
daughter,
that I meant.
right?
But like adult daughter.
Yeah, like she could
Gotcha.
be anywhere. You know how dwarves are. She could be anywhere from 30 to 80.
Gotcha. Thank
I was
you.
quite young. Did he do anything inappropriate? Was he like just too loud, or too forceful, too fussy? You know.
And he sort of like, debates whether to tell you too much. But he does like you. Why don't you give me a persuasion with advantage, Garrus? Because you've done a good job at
They
sort of
talked about
sympathizing.
dead brother stuff.
Yeah, dead brother
Oh, yeah.
stuff is the best.
All right. Well, the first one
Love
is
a dead
5.
brother.
Oh,
I'm going to roll the second one now. Motherfucker, come on, you bastard. All right, that is a 16.
Hey!
nice.
Whoa.
Where's
That's
my-
much better than a 5.
Get bloody advantage and roll a fucking 5. I can't believe it.
Yeah, he leans forward and says sort of in a hushed voice to you, and he says,
Look, I like Meduline a lot, but no one is without their faults.
Of course not.
And if you ask me, Meduline, well, she's not too keen on humans, or her daughter being involved with one. If you get my drift.
I do.
We all have our
indeed,
issues with
yes.
humans, don't get me wrong.
We all nod understandingly.
yeah.
Yeah. Outside the window, Sal.
Most humans.
But Avar's never done anything wrong. And frankly, despite my own feelings, I don't think he deserved the way she treated him.
Do you know if
He's all right for a human.
Ninjuna's, I suppose, reciprocated his feelings?
No, I didn't get involved. All I know is, if we're up to just Ninjuna, I think they'd be, at the very least, together in some fashion. If not romantic, at least friends. But at this point, there's not much keeping Avar here, other than an only safe haven.
Interesting.
Okay. Garrus will like put up whatever the price of a drink is and be like, whatever he drinks, would you send one up to him?
Sure, I can do that.
And he's like, might as well do it now, excuse me. And he turns around and he pours a pint and he walks upstairs.
Justin from Discord said, maybe he's under the stage frightened condition and must use all his movement to get as far away from the stage as possibly true.
Nailed it. How'd you
That's
know?
actually really good. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah,
That's great.
you knew it.
Cool. I
I'm
mean,
not
I don't really
thinking-
want to like interrupt this guy's awkward flee from the stage, but
Also
especially-
suspecting him a little bit less if he's interested in Juna. I don't... you'd be pissed off, but not in any significant way, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, enough to kill.
Dun, dun, dun. I need that sound effect.
next week.
Remind me to
list
get
for ya.
that.
Just get Henry doing it and go, dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
That would actually be incredibly adorable. I would love that.
that'd be too cute. I did have him call in to our
Radio show.
fake radio show. I haven't added him yet, but it's just him saying a bunch of nonsense where he's like,
I want to say I just want to say I love your radio show.
can't you hear that with Christmas shoes in the background? Just like, just kidding. I hate that song.
If you ever, for whatever reason, have a specific thing for a natural 20 on a performance roll, just get that out there.
I like it. It's perfect.
Also, that was a great idea too. I do like the idea of, Cole's bringing him something to drink.
Ply him with drinks.
Send him up another 7.
You see
him down
Lewis
there.
sort of like turned around on his chair, just watching the three of you. Sal, I feel like you can enter if you want. Like, I don't want to cut you from a scene,
No, it's totally fine. I don't mind looking in because I feel like if he's gonna be stubborn enough to do this 10 thing, which he is, I don't think he's gonna go in, even if he's invited. Not to be the loner outside, but
You're just
Maybe
reading
you've
lips.
cracked the window a bit and you can
yeah.
like hear in.
You keep shouting in, "Get him some more drinks!" But yeah, Lewis is just like smiling wide at you. He's like, anyone to play 10 or more?
Carl,
not
you
not
played
tonight,
that, didn't you?
Lewis.
isn't
Yes, the game is rigged.
Okay, I'm not. It usually is. I'm not too
you just
interested.
accuse this child of cheating you all?
Rigged, he says. Why, it's not rigged at all.
Is this a child or is it just a gnome?
It's a young gnome.
That's not a jest of child.
That's
a child.
Sal just like, fine,
It's
I'll go
a
over
gambling
here.
child. Kids love gambling. He's like, I'm going to go to the corner store and buy the most candy ever.
Sure, though.
Cool. I mean, good night, Lewis. I'm going to go up to my room. Our room, I suppose. We were all sharing, right?
Cool. Yeah, you push past the double doors of the back room, and you see there's a set of stairs leading up. Cole's walking down, and he says,
Yours is second on the right. Good night.
and he hands you an iron key. And Lewis just says, "Good night," and Sal sort of waves. And as you walk up, you see 4 doors on sort of the one side, we'll call it the right. No, I'm sitting to the left. 4 doors. You see the one on the far end, presumably Avar's room, just about to shut. And you see 2 doors between you and your room.
If this was a video game, I would check all those rooms.
I would absolutely try to break into every single room.
Skyrim. Skyrim.
You're new to the place.
Maybe Skyrim's got that thing. Maybe D&D has that thing where you can like open anyone's stuff, but as long as you don't take it, no matter who sees you, you're fine.
Looking at their
What's in
shit.
here?
It's so funny because I'm playing a game now called Medieval Dynasty where I'm still using the Skyrim logic where like it has a stealing mechanic, right? So I'll walk into a town and I'll like open everyone's shit, but there's like a dynasty ranking in that game, and I'm like I never look at it, and I looked at it and I was like -7,000. I was like, why? And it's because they just keep seeing me open their chests. I don't take anything, but every time I do it, it
That's
like takes off
awesome.
50 points, right? So I'm just like, I was like,
The fact you can just
oh,
barge
they
in someone's
hate me.
house.
Compared
I don't
to,
know
I've
you.
been playing Disco Elysium, and if there's a locked door, I'm like, I'm gonna get a pry bar and
Yeah.
fucking crank that shit
yeah,
open.
exactly.
But in this game, Harlan manages our repercussions.
Yeah,
And I
but I mean, you are alone up here, from what you can tell.
save
Cole is
for
a floor below you.
Avar.
When we booked in, did Cole let us know if the other rooms were booked? Or he
Did
just
he?
said, I have a room? Or did he say, I have some rooms?
I think he said I have a room.
A room, which would
Yeah,
Well,
but a lot of
I-
people have died recently, so maybe.
More room.
Oh, maybe his brother's room. Oh,
is he still
I
in
mean,
there?
I don't want to meta, but you can see a room on the main floor. So there's definitely someone, presumably the owner,
Oh
sleeping down
yeah, they definitely bunked together,
there. It was that kind of brother
banging
relationship.
brothers.
well, I just thought they had a close friendly relationship.
Maybe they were. It's true, and that's how he does it when he hoes in the field. I mean, I don't want to metagame this, but you do know, if you remember, you do know there are people staying here. If you've been good at your note keeping, you should
See-
already know who's staying here.
You know what? I mean,
Oh,
we know
darn.
that Tappert Key was staying here.
Correct. In fact, and again, I don't want to twist anything, but you do know that 2 of the missing people were staying here. So you know
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
Robert
Davis
Thompson,
Straught as well.
Davis Straught, Tappert Key and I can't even say this, a Mazamin wind spell are all missing, and you know that Davis Strahd and Tappert Key were both staying here. Additionally, and I'll give you all this because it's been a few weeks. Additionally, a number of people have told you to ask Cole about Davis Strahd.
Yeah, that's my
Which
only
you have yet
note,
to do.
is
Keep
ask,
forgetting.
ask Cole.
That's the whole reason why I'm sacrificing
Maybe-
myself outside.
Maybe we ask
Maybe,
Cole by
uh,
going to their rooms in Cole's Inn.
You know what, Garrus? Why don't you go downstairs and talk to Cole about this Davis Strahd character and keep him busy?
Now that's the first smart move you guys have made this game.
That is good.
No,
Inspiration.
good.
Thank you. We've done at least one other smart thing.
No, you haven't. Inspiration for you.
Thank you. I already have inspiration. Can I donate it?
No, we are changing the rules of inspiration from here on out. I'm
Oh.
letting you all keep up to 3 inspiration at a time. And I'm going to... Oh, wait, no. What did I say I was going to go? No. You
5
cannot bank
inspiration at a
inspiration anymore. Sorry.
Okay.
You can only have 1 inspiration. But I am going to allow you to use inspiration to
Retroactively?
re-roll instead of just rolling twice. So... Typically, inspiration is you use it before the roll and you roll twice, you take the higher. I am going to start letting you use inspiration from here on out to also re-roll a failed roll. Because to me,
Okay.
why the fuck not? I think it's so much better that way and I'm using it so much. So,
If you
sorry,
like it
Joe,
more.
you cannot use it. You can give it to somebody else,
Can
absolutely.
I give it to someone else?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Sal because I feel like if Sal was with us, then Cole would be less forthcoming with the chat with Garrus.
That's true.
So I think Sal
taking a
staying
bullet.
out in the rain is a role-playing win and also a mechanical win. So
Brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate the justification of my bad decisions.
I love it. But yeah, so now you can use it to re-roll as well.
cool.
So keep that in mind. That's 2
Without-
homebrewed rules.
So we don't have to stipulate that we're like, so we can fail and be like, oh, I'm going to use my inspiration to reroll that.
Exactly.
Cool.
Which to me,
I find
honestly,
myself using
That's
that a lot.
powerful.
is if I had a number 1 rule to add to D&D 5th, it would be that. Because to me, it's just so... I get why, but it's like, why not? A little bit more fun?
Yeah.
To me, anything that makes you less likely to miss an
No.
entire round of, say, combat is worth it.
We hate
So that's
fun.
my
I think the
call.
lucky feat may let you do that.
It does, but then
That's
you
why
have to
I
do a
took it.
feat, and it's only 3 times. Yeah, so you can re-roll like 4 die, potentially. Anyway, so, great tactical move.
Garrus will head downstairs.
Heads downstairs. Kala and Brea are sneaking the room, one each, or together, or what's the plan here?
Yeah.
Just going to bed.
My stealth. Hang on. No, my stealth is.
Go keep him busy.
What do you say?
Oh, there was that, wasn't there?
Okay. I'll be the lookout.
I mean, Kala, I don't know. You have pretty bad charisma too, right?
Like
She
that isn't
made
good?
the bard cry with
Well,
money.
I wonder if
Yes,
maybe
I'm
you want to
terrible.
keep. Okay, never mind. Yeah,
If
you
I want to
can-
do what? No, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your point?
It might be a cool thing for the game, not necessarily a smart decision, but if you wanted to go speak with Avar and just like make right the wrongs from downstairs, make him feel a bit better about himself, we could do that.
Okay, yeah.
Or
so
you
I
could
sh-
just
so
be
you
a
want me to- I could
lookout?
just sleep with them. I could just do that.
Oh no,
make
no,
him
he
feel better.
likes
he-
Nanduna.
I'll get the song out of him. Oh no, that's true. I guess that
He
would.
can't have Naduna though, so he's a single man.
Yeah,
his
so
bed
yeah,
is cold.
I go to Avar's room.
Okay.
This is gonna turn out awful.
And you knock.
It's gonna be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And she drum on the door just to be like, look how much talent I have.
Yeah, so what the fuck do you do?
I take a bar napkin and I write him a note.
Okay, what is the
I would
note?
love-
Hold on, narrate the note right now, because I want to hear what it says.
I yearn to hear
No.
the sweet music of legend. Of your legend. There, that's what I wrote there. I yearn to hear the sweet
That is
music of your
groupie
legend.
speak.
Yeah, that's groupie.
And I slip the napkin under his door.
I mean, Kala's hot canonically.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand roll. Is she
Really?
canonically hot?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, because you're standing outside this person's door. The rooms are not big. Like, all he has to do is be like, hello.
Oh, you're saying he would hear me.
Yeah, of course.
Like from the inside. Okay.
from
I see.
inside,
So,
the person who's
well,
is in their room.
I rolled 8 on sleight of hand.
8?
Opens the door, shoves it in, drops
so-
on the floor.
The paper
Yeah.
like bends
No,
up.
well,
at the,
So
If
it's
you
great.
open-
So
if the
like
door
you
opens-
write this and you bend down and you like slide it under, and like as it's sliding under, the door just fucking opens.
Opens.
knocks you
All right.
in
Yeah.
the
I put
face.
my hand on his mouth and I go shh, 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 and I push him into the room. I go shh.
Okay,
I thought
I'll let
you
you
were
do that.
pushing the
He's,
door.
he's like pretty. He's a pretty timid guy. He's like,
Yeah, that's fine. I sit him on the bed. I don't gag him. I just like hold his mouth as I push him.
maybe he likes that.
I don't
like
tie
a
him up.
Right, just show
Alright.
him.
cheeks
Yeah,
together.
Yeah, I just push him down on the bed,
And he's like,
and I'm like, I was going to give you this note because exactly good. Yeah, Dana Zool. I was going to give you this note, but it seems that
never been with an
you
orc
caught
before. Consent. Nick Wraith has got it right.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, that's it.
No, I'm just kidding. So yeah,
he
kind of
is
like.
he is now distracted. I tell him about his music, and we could role.
Yeah,
play
and
if
he's
you
like,
want,
thank you. And you give me like a persuasion roll. There's no, see, and this is one of the things,
Oh,
like,
shit.
Oh my god!
what?
You saw that, right? You saw
No,
that?
what?
It was
No.
Natural 20.
Natural 20?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Let me get the thing out.
Ahmed, I am so proud of you. I need you to know, like, just.
Natural 20.
That's awesome. Yeah, this guy's
It's for
putting in your
Christmas,
hands.
guys.
It's been a long time since he's felt the touch of a beautiful woman.
No, it's not even
Yeah.
that. I
It's
think
been a
he's
long
just
time
like,
since he's rock and rolled.
I think he's just so shook from being a failure. And it's interesting because you did it. You were the one who asked for the song. He went up and failed. And so there's like a little bit of like, he feels responsible for you. And as you kind of like push him back, he's kind of like, oh, right. And you have him entirely. And we're going to cut back to you in a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, so you can think about how you want to approach this in an appropriate way.
I kinda
Garrus,
ended up-
you head downstairs to
I'm
Cole,
gonna have to think about that.
who's standing in the bar.
oh yeah, Garrus will
He's
sit
like-
down on a stool.
I thought you were going to bed.
I thought I'd come down for a nightcap, settle the nerves and all that.
And he's kind of like,
All right.
and he reaches under the bar and he pulls out like a special looking bottle. And it's like a little dusty, and he pulls it up and you can see like it's a clay jar, handmade, and like etched into the side when the clay was wet. It says Basewind, which is his last
That's
name,
his
as you
name,
know. Yeah, and he's like, kind of puts it up for a second, and he's like,
My brother and I, he was always more of the fighter, and I was more of the host. But he had a better palate than me.
boom. And he like pulls off the cork, and he pulls out 2 small like wooden glasses, and he's like,
There's not that many bottles left, and I can't say as I remember his recipe, but a toast to brothers.
and he pours you a little bit and pours
Yeah.
himself a little bit and stoppers it and puts it back under and holds it up,
You're like, 2 brothers, and he'll take a drink.
and he takes a drink back. And meanwhile, you, Brea, are standing
Yeah.
outside the office.
As
or
the door behind Kala closes with a thud and I hear the muffled voices within, I rub my little hands together and I'm gonna... I know what our room is. I know what their room is. So by order of elimination, like the other 2 rooms are the rooms that we're concerned with.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go into the first one.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you open the door and you find... Actually, you know what? I didn't plan out who, so let's just keep this random.
Hell yeah.
We'll call 1 to 3 that one. Perfect. Yeah, you open this room and you see a small, plain-looking room similar to what you imagine the room you're going to be spending the night in. It has enough for 3 people sleeping, though only 2 in the bed.
So
And-
Sal wasn't gonna get space in this anyway.
Well, you'd sleep on the floor.
Oh.
Maybe
that's
they'd push
fair.
beds together. I
Wait,
don't
so that's our room?
know. This is not your room.
Yeah.
No. This is just similar to your room.
Are there any belongings in here?
Yeah, there looks to be like a jacket. Would fit a humanoid of some sort. There's a small chest at the foot of the bed that you know would house most belongings. The bed does not look well kept or made, and the room itself sort of seems like it's a bit of a disaster. It seems like it wasn't treated very respectfully. Doesn't have much order in it. There's a plate of rotting food sitting on a chair next to the bed, and yeah, you kind of get the feeling that this is a place that almost like someone young would sleep in.
Okay. First, I want to go and look through the pockets of the jacket.
Cool. Yeah. You head over to the jacket and you start skimming through the pocket, and your fingers brush against a piece of paper. And you pull it out and see in plain script, handwritten, it says, "Tonight, I'll keep the old man here. You sneak in and blow that door open.
Ooh, okay.
Whatever is in there must be valuable. And remember, we split it 70-30. No negotiations." And as you hold the paper in your hand and feel its sort of weight on your stomach, Kala, you are sitting on the bed next to the bard, who's sort of looking down at his fingers. What are you saying to keep him occupied?
Play me a song.
Yeah.
Romantically?
And he's like kind of nervous. I don't think he's romantically interested in you. I think there's a bit of like onus to you and like responsibility to you, but like the vibe you get from him is very, like kind of embarrassed, but not about what's happening, more about the fact that he couldn't, get up on stage and sing you the song that you paid
He
for.
couldn't perform.
He couldn't get
Is
it
that
up
what you're saying,
musically.
Harlan?
Get it up. He
Yeah,
couldn't get up. So he pops a pill.
It happens to a lot of bards.
It does. The best bards, no matter how old or how young, all these bards' penises are. Wait, I mean. So there's like a lingering moment, right? And he looks down at his lute, and you can see like he's about to say something. Give me a persuasion roll with advantage. Or, if you want, you can use intimidation if you're like going that way with it.
I just want to go with my finger over his mouth, like mush his mouth with my
So he
finger.
starts to say something, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Use the language of music, I say.
Yeah, so give me a...
you said? Persuasion?
with advantage. Or intimidation, whatever you want.
Yeah, no, persuasion's fine. It's an 11.
Yeah, okay. You can tell
That
he's
is the
kind of like...
advantage.
Yeah, and he's like... And he kind of looks around. You realize, he's empty here. And he takes the lute and he like shifts off the bed and he sits on the stool. And without like locking eyes with you, he actually like looks down for a second and closes his eyes. And then he begins to play like a really sweet melody on the lute. And he starts telling this story of this mysterious stranger who's appeared at various times and places to help people in Hythe. Like the name of Hythe is in it. And he talks about it being like a magician or almost like it's supernatural, but it never fully is expressed. It's just sort of the aura around this character is magic. And he never says a name, only that his intentions seem benevolent to the people of the town. And it's sort of this like almost folksy song. And by the end of it, he sort of just lingers without looking up, and he kind of opens one eye and looks up towards you and sits back almost with like relief. And he's like,
Yeah, Kala's crying. She's like, "You have earned your gold." And I hand him the gold.
and he like sees it, and he almost doesn't even realize it. He's like, I haven't played in front of another person in years. I can't believe it. Thank you.
What's the cantrip to conjure fire so we can light that cigarette?
Yeah.
Just prestidigitates smoke out without the cigarette.
Oh yeah,
at
as
all.
Justin said, there's a bard on joke there somewhere. He hides his bard on. But yeah, and he stands up and with like an elated nature, he sort of nods to you and he's like, "Thank you, Kala. I appreciate it. The truth is, I lost my confidence a long time ago, before arriving in Asora, and I don't know. I guess it's been difficult, but that song has been bumping around my head ever since it happened. The stranger arrived in Hythe. It's true. I don't know if you know that." And there's sort of a moment where he hangs in the air and he's like, "No one really got his name. Some say he still roams the hills to the east of here. A powerful man. But his intentions were good. At least that's what they say. I don't know who found it. Some old manuscript. It was before we arrived here, obviously. The dwarven colony, I suppose. Anyway. Maybe it's just legend." And as that moment sort of hangs, I imagine as that song's playing, Brea has been searching the room, and you feel pretty confident that this room has been turned out and in. You've sort of been through the chest. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing of any major import, except you do find a ship's manifest. A ship called the I don't know. Give me a name of a ship, people.
The Rat Maiden's Bounty.
The rat.
Gonna keep
drag.
saying Rat Maiden every time.
The orphaned narwhal.
The narwhal bacon.
Narwhal bacon?
I'm gonna call it the
getting
Icarus. The Icarus.
Spicy.
The Yicarus.
You took none of our suggestions.
The Uterus.
No, the Icarus. The Eucharist. There you go.
Ooh, there you go.
The uterus.
Delivers
sea
the sailors upon the shore.
In
Sea mother. Sea mother. I vote for
Sea
sea
mother?
mother.
No, I like the
Olympian
Eucharist actually.
frigate.
Ask
Eucharist.
Justin.
Eucharist it is. So, and it's like a manifest for the Eucharist, a ship.
But is that one we're supposed to know, by the way?
Placenta of the ocean.
No.
Safe voyage.
The womb of the waters.
The vagina.
Good.
I came across here on the vagina.
Decorum, Harlan.
Okay.
We had to have a dinghy take us to the land called the penis boat.
So I know then that
this
this
is
is
scrotum.
Titty cake.
Davis Straught's room, clearly, based on the history with him having been part of a ship prior to the voyage here, and then also based on the fact that his jacket is for a humanoid. I would presume that wouldn't fit a tortoise person.
Probably not.
Additionally, based on the paper that says that he's going to keep the old man there, sneak in, blah, 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 we have evidence that Robert Thompson for sure was the one who planted the explosives. Right? Yeah. Just to confirm that, does the handwriting on the paper match the handwriting of the ledger that we were looking at earlier from the convenience store?
Good question.
Great question, and yes, it does.
Rock and roll.
And again, the letter reads in this.
Maybe I wrote it down wrong because there was a lot.
Well, this reads, blah blah blah. Where is it? Oh, tonight I'll keep the old man here, and you sneak in and blow that door open.
Sorry, and you.
Whatever is in there must be valuable, and remember, we split it 70-30, no negotiations.
Okay. Yeah, you blow the door. Okay, great. But, I mean, he, stole dynamite from his own store, basically, and then gave it to Davis to plant and explode. So... Sorry?
I said it's a good theory.
It is. I'm going to sneak across the room... across the hall into the other room just for a cursory look
Cool.
while everyone's still occupied.
Yeah, you silently close the door. Give me a silence roll.
I will.
What's it called?
Stealth.
Stealth. It's like, what is it called?
Natural 20.
Whoa!
So that's a 27.
Natural 20.
As a breath in a large room.
There's a fart on a candle. You move across the room.
Hiss.
Silent and deadly.
Silent and deadly. And yeah, you open this room. And you see a much more well put together room. As you open the door, you see sort of a very neat, almost like a suitcase in the corner under the chair. The bed looks unused. The actual coat rack has a coat still hanging on it as well, a larger coat, one with a large, hefty back capable of supporting a shell. And the nightstand has a candle that has been burned and lit many times, or blown out and relit many times. And you stand in the open doorway. The room is bathed in darkness. Does not have an outside window.
I stealth in and I look through that coat.
Yeah, you go through the coat and you sort of like dip your hand in and you get ink on your hand.
Oh,
You're like,
no.
You put your prints everywhere. You're like, oh no, you're like Mr. Magoo it. Give me another stealth roll.
All right. 22.
Okay. Yeah. You silently look through the coat. You don't find anything of import.
And you said there's a suitcase in the corner?
Yeah.
I want to go through that suitcase.
Perfect. Yeah, you walk over across the room silently. Again, it's the same layout as the other room. You bend down, open the suitcase in the stillness of the dark, and you crack it open and you begin looking through these clothes. They're sort of nice clothes, like frilly button up. They're sort of like that, that frilly chested
Love it.
clothes, but they're all sort of tailored for
The Beethoven-y kind of?
Yeah, the Beethoven-y. I can't remember the name of that.
I think it's called the Beethoven.
You see a few suit jackets and pants all tailored for a turtle. And as you are sort of like looking through them, you feel something hard underneath, presumably a book of some sort.
I look at the book.
Yeah. It has a sort of an odd name. It says Giorno dal Respite.
Okay. I mean, is it a journal?
You open it up, and as you sort of flick through, it seems like it's just a lot of, like, it's a language you don't recognize, obviously. But it's very frilly, very fine-looking penmanship, almost artistic in the words and the way they're done, more than anything. Give me one final stealth roll.
All right. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
$18.
Yeah. And as you are working through these books, you hear something in the darkness.
Oh.
And you turn to look under the bed. And looking back at you, you see just the slightest movement of eyes as a figure is lurking in the darkness under the bed. And in a low voice it says, "Can I help you?"
Who's there?
And you like it begins to shuffle out this large turtle. And as he sort of helps himself up, you see sort of in the small little corner, there's like vials and penmanship in the darkest corner of the bed. And he sort of slowly lumbers up and he walks over to you, rising in the dark, and he steps towards you, the heavy footfalls of his sort of muscular body. And he grabs something from the nightstand, which looks to be a cane. And as he walks towards you, he says, "Tablet key, quill maker. Why are you looking through my things?"
Tappert, it's a relief to see you. She closes the suitcase and hands it back to him. And she says, "I am here investigating your disappearance at the behest of Megeline. You'll have to forgive my intrusion. I meant no offense by that.
A disappearance?
Yes, I was told you were missing.
I've been here for going on 2 weeks now.
She looks all around the room and realizes that there's no outside window, and it clicks with her. Did you not realize that the town came under attack?
The town is under attack?
No,
He sort of listlessly looks towards the door as if he would do anything. And then he looks back.
No, it was under attack. As of late this morning, we are now safe.
Oh, jolly good.
But as no one had seen you, they worried that you were among the missing.
Oh, no.
And he sits down in his bed with a heavy creaking, the weight of the bed, and pulls out a match, and with a strike he lights the little candle, and you see for the first time, sort of bathed in light, this sort of dark green tortoise-like skin with flecks of white hair coming off of his little chin. He's got two, small little glasses sitting on the end of his very short, stubby little nose, and he's bald all over his head. And as he sort of hugs the cane under his arm, he pulls out a small little packet of something and takes a nibble.
What's the population density of turtles in this world? Are they common or uncommon creatures?
I'm going to say uncommon.
Okay, so I don't know if Brea's ever seen a turtle before. She's mesmerized.
It looks more like bestial than anything.
Yeah.
It just seems like it shouldn't be talking right now.
And people who look strange are very interesting to Brea. In fact, she has a bookmark in the back of her mind that she needs to talk to Sal, because Sal changed into a beast in front of her eyes recently, and they haven't had a moment to unpack that, but she, as she's going through this transformation herself, she's she wants to chat about that. So she sort of sits down at this man's feet and crosses her legs on the floor and just starts to have a chat with him about who he is and his fucking life story. And she pulls a quill out of her bag that she found in the hut recently, and they just have a talk about stuff.
And as your sort of eyes look over him, you see that his form is impressive. He's what we would sort of register as a snapping turtle. He's got
awesome.
like a sharp jaw, and big sort of almost fang-looking pieces of his jaw sticking up from the bottom.
Yeah.
But his sort of timid, almost slow demeanor is very disarming. But beyond that, the sharp, jagged nature of his shell behind him almost looks demonic in the dim light. Garrus, you and Cole are chatting back and forth.
Yeah, Garrus will take his drink. He'll put it down. He'll be my brother and I were not. Well, we grew up both fighting, actually. He's a little older than I, and we were born with we had the little toy swords in our hands, and he taught me everything I knew, and then eventually we joined the army together. Yes, and then of course he died on the battlefield, and it was after that I decided I think I'm done with war, and it changed my life, actually. And, okay, Cole, now, I know you don't like getting into other people's business, and you know that Magellan has tasked us with finding out all this stuff about people who are disappearing. And I've asked around about Davis Straught, and everyone has told me to come to you. Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell me anything about him?
Maybe we did already ask him, now that I'm thinking.
Did we? In that case, if he says that...
I'll tell you anyway, because I can't remember.
Okay.
Now. He's just because I'm wondering how you got the information that he was originally part of.
Here's what I have. He's odd and a weasel, staying at the inn. He thought the town was beneath him. Original part of a ship, but disowned by the captain for stealing. He took odd jobs, worked at the pub, but was
You
fired.
must have talked to him. I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then,
My bad.
And then he'll just be like, oh, hold on. You actually told me a lot about him. Never mind.
Yeah, well, don't worry. You would remember that too.
Yeah,
And he's just
and
Yeah.
He'll hold up the cup and he's like, so you say you don't have many bottles of this left?
No.
And you don't quite have the palate to recreate the recipe?
No, definitely not.
I'm afraid I'd offer to help, but I'm afraid I wouldn't be of, any use to you. But, now this may not be your favorite suggestion, and he'll look to the window where Sal is. If I know anyone who has a refined palate, it's got to be him. I mean, the dude You may not like him, but if anyone can help you, and I'm not going to speak for him. I'm not going to say he's going to do it. I'm just saying, you know, he kind of pissed you off. I think he feels a bit guilty about it. If anyone can help you rediscover this recipe, and just like toast him, be like, I'm off to bed.
And he sort of sits back and he's like,
You might be right. Let me think on it tonight.
No problem
and then
at all, friend.
as you kind of walk, he stops you, says,
Say, what army did you and your brother fight for?
It was the army of the local lord of our area. And he'll like give a place name.
Yeah, and he's
Gary
like,
doesn't know in his head.
Was it Trigoth?
It was Trigoth.
I think you and I would have been, maybe close to arm in arm at one point.
Really?
Maybe a few battles over here and there, but at least you would have been with my brother.
Did you fight for the Lord of Trigoth or the what we called the rebels at the time?
No. My brother did, but I was nearby, trying to take care of the family matters. It's
I wonder
interesting.
if I knew him.
It's possible.
Maybe we'll talk on it another time.
Yeah.
and he takes like a long drink, and he thinks, and after a moment, you like kind of head upstairs, and he takes a drink, and he thinks, and he follows you up to like the small back room, and he sort of stops you. He's like,
Garrus, hold on
Aye.
a second.
and we'll cut to Kala and the bard in the room.
Dramatic.
So I just handed off the gold, I guess, yeah, to him.
Yeah, and he sort of
Said
said thank you and told you that that story was real, and
Oh, the story of the wizard that came to town.
Was it catchy enough for you to have possibly been able to remember it?
yeah, for sure. Kala, right?
Yeah.
Where am I?
No,
Yeah, Kala,
no.
you-
I mean, yeah. I could. Do you want me to sing a song?
No.
Oh no! I meant just like maybe tell us about it later if there's any
Yeah.
details
Oh
that
yeah,
pop up
totally,
and you need to.
totally,
Okay. I
totally.
was not putting you that much on the spot, although if you do, I'm not going to complain at all.
So yeah, he sort of thanks you. Are you going to do anything else? Are you just going to leave, or what's your plan?
No, that's it. I helped him regain his confidence, and I distracted him for the time that I needed to. So
Are you telling me you just appeared out of some battle-torn church and chaos to appear before him, hand him gold, and then chase him to just reconnect with his musical talent, and then disappear again? Are you
The
kidding
ultimate
me?
muse.
Classic.
There's going to be this epic of songs following you.
He's gonna write a song for you next.
Yep.
So Kala, as you leave, maybe you hear the muffled voices of a deeper, growling almost voice, and Brea in the room next to yours.
okay. Yeah, no, I head downstairs to the bar.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
You walk by Cole and Garrus, who seem to be having a hushed conversation in the kitchen, and they sort of both locked eyes with you. And maybe Garrus, you know that this is sort of a sense of they both stop talking the minute you arrive, and Cole sort of waits back for Garrus
What?
to get rid
I
of
say, I want a drink. That's it, never drink.
Yeah, I'll be on in a second.
Are you actually heading back down to the bar right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you
thank
still at the
God.
window?
I'm still at the window, very much so, because I feel like you've all been having wonderful little adventures. I feel like Sal has had enough time out in the
God.
elements, which is any. So I think he is having a little bit of regret, and
FOMO.
I feel like he would have been formulating a teeny tiny little plan and realized he
Ooh.
did not want to act on it himself.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't think he's actually slept yet, because he is still very.
No one slept
Right.
yet. Oh, you're
Right.
gonna attack the bar. I like this idea.
Physically, the bar itself is just gonna smack on the
How many hit points does the bar
stonework.
have?
But I would love to be able to kind of just like knock on the window and like try and catch Cal's attention. He's not going into the bar. I'm sorry. It's embarrassment now more than anything else. It's not spite.
Well, you know what? Okay, maybe you knock on the bar before Cal even gets there, and Lewis hears you. And he kind of like leans back, kind of creaking on the chair.
Oh, this child better not hear. Well, if he does, I'm just going to try and see if I can like point him to... and point him
Lewis
towards the
walks
back.
over,
And then
and he,
kind of like...
Lewis like opens the door outside, and he's like, "Hi, why aren't you coming in?"
So halfway through him trying to pantomime his allies, oh, well, all right, this works as well. My friends, have you seen them? Have they gone anywhere?
Yeah, some of them went up to bed, and some of them are in the back with Cole. And why are you out here?
My child, I cannot explain to you the complicated matters of these adult worlds, but I can assure you, you will help me greatly if you go find one of my friends. Bring them back to me.
Okay, sure. And he goes get this Kala.
Yeah!
Okay, I go out to sell.
Great! Okay. I don't know what the weather's like, but honestly, he looks like he's been soaked somehow. So just don't ask questions.
Yeah,
like
sure.
this.
We'll say
Sweat
it's
for some
raining.
reason.
For some
Why
reason.
aren't you in your tent?
He's been crying.
Kella says, why aren't you in your tent?
Go.
Your tent, lovely. I'm not as built for tents as I had first envisioned myself. The passion.
Let's go to your tent. And I grab him and I like, we force him to go to the tent, and so I can fix the tent for him.
Sal's comfortable with this because he's going to talk on the way, which is very simply him telling you this sort of plan. Sal's going to remind her of that room we found in the church and that barrel with the mead that we left back there, but did discover, because he's very much wanting to have a peace offering. And so far, everything he's said when he's opened his mouth has been the opposite of that. So, by doing and showing rather than saying, perhaps he has a chance to not have to sleep outside in the very comfortable tent that you built for him.
You would like to steal the mead and give it to Cole?
He's comfortable still, yes.
Okay.
Great.
we go to the tent.
Just pivots carrying Sal. Just starts
Yeah,
now
yeah,
walking.
That's awesome. Yeah. Still carrying him.
Just like
Yeah,
pushing
the
him.
two of you head across Hythe. It's now dark out. You know, few people are out in the streets, if any. And the two of you enter the temple. You walk through the large hole that is almost completely sealed now. You know, maybe the last few bricks just remaining to be rebricked.
Team hole.
Stepping over the remains of what must have been some bodily explosions.
Oh no.
As you remember, you saw some dead corpses here. There's like some blood stains still on the stone, and you enter, sort of returning to the scene of where you saw so much death. It brings you back in the darkness, and slowly
Somebody
you move,
should clean this up.
but not me.
That's what Kella says. Yeah, exactly.
And slowly you move towards that storeroom that you found, and as you enter, you're reminded of that sweet scent of a room that has long since been abandoned, and you find that same barrel, heavy and weighty with some sort of
heavy?
liquid. How heavy is it? It's pretty strong. I think it's pretty heavy. I don't know how.
Well, we could.
Like +4 heavy?
like +4 heavy, yeah.
There's two of us.
Really?
I'm a half orc. She's an orc. We can manage this thing together.
Yes, that's true.
I don't
that's
know.
True. She's also an orc.
D&D,
Exactly.
how heavy is a full barrel of mead?
Well, it could be like
Now-
40 gallons.
70
or
pounds, so
something.
you're fine.
Oh, easy.
Oh, that's I'm fine.
Wait.
Yeah, that's easy.
I have a
Is that
question.
full?
Is it full?
No, that's an empty one. No,
Okay.
624 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
That's
I could
two
still-
good people.
I could
do that.
probably-
Yeah, maybe you'd have to do.
She carried
No, hold
me.
on. I'm reading this all wrong. Okay, here's a very
I could
sizable
clean it
build.
and put it on my back. I'm like, carry it that way.
You
Sal
got
will
you
do
got
the
a
doors.
600
Okay, a
pound.
barrel can hold 40 gallons. So how heavy is 40 gallons? How heavy is 40
So important.
gallons of water?
I have another question after this.
330. Yeah, so it's like basically a fully armed person you have to carry.
Between the two of you, you
Yeah,
could do it.
yeah, for sure. Between the two of you,
I think I
you
could do that, actually.
Now-
I think Kala could do that.
I have a bit of a question narratively. It involves
bit of an
cheating.
answer. Okay.
Okay. I have no spell slots at this point,
Perfect.
but I would still like to somehow cast, even if it takes extra long, detect poison and disease.
Do you have? Is it a ritual?
It is. I think it is. You can do it as a ritual, I think.
Well,
Then-
then it doesn't matter
then
that
you're
you don't
great.
have slots.
If you can
Oh,
do it as a
10
ritual, you
minutes.
can do it.
10 minutes.
10. We're going to spend 10 minutes testing this. But I have a
That's
question.
fine.
When it says testing for poison, and it says I can detect what kind of poison and what kind of disease, I would like
Yeah.
to do two things.
Okay.
One is to see if it's actually poisoned in some way, because that
Yeah.
would be bad. Second is to see, how strong is it?
How like
Ooh.
potent is it?
Yeah.
Sample
How good
it.
is it?
The
like it.
alcoholic side.
Cool. All right.
Detect poison, disease, and booziness.
I like it. Okay. So yeah, you do that. You spend 10 minutes. Cal is just chilling.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you detect no poison, and you find that this is a wine, or rather, it was once a wine. This is now like a finely aged port. Like this is a very thick, warm, hearty port that definitely has absorbed a lot of the oak barrel, and has a alcoholic percentage of, I don't know,
Positive.
20.
20% or something. I don't know.
No,
It's-
you
Okay,
said
that
this
sounds
thing.
positive. That sounds
Great. All of these things are good.
You said that this was sealed from before even the church was renovated. Is it the
Correct.
right
This is
word?
dwarven port.
So this is
1,000-year-old port.
Well, it's not. See, like it's like a couple. It's like an aged port, and then it got frozen basically for like,
ice port.
1,000
I love it.
it. And then it got defrosted. So the other barrels, which probably also had port, are like ruined and have long since evaporated.
Plus,
Okay.
also, dwarven booze works differently than regular alcohol.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
more magical.
Yeah.
All right. The only thing I can say before I ask Kyla to help me heft this thing over is while
party.
we're here, is there anything else that we needed to get or return to?
no.
I know that dwarf was still downstairs.
Yeah, you had a dwarf downstairs.
Okay, we get him too. Can we get him?
I mean, you could try to carry a petrified
It's gonna be
dwarf.
real heavy.
It'd be also
Yeah.
very heavy. It would take you a while.
Similarly
That's fine.
heavy as we've discovered.
Could
I mean,
we,
all of this is going to take you like an hour plus, which is fine.
Could we? Just
cool
this is
with
just a little thought. Could we bring that dwarf up to this room, so it's not as close to that random resealed hole where there was the
Yeah.
explosion, and all this stuff, but it's still kind of hidden out of the way, so no one disturbs.
So
them,
it's
'cause-
your dwarf. Yeah, that's
Your
great.
dwarf.
Sure. Okay.
all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I suppose while you guys are at the scene of the crime, is there anything that you want to reinvestigate? I mean, points of issue were the explosion in the basement that no one really looked at. There was the explosion in the cathedral wall, which you sort of looked like, and there was the priest's room. Those are sort of the 3 points of interest. You don't have to. I'm just giving you the opportunity if you're interested.
Brea did a really good job of examining the priest room, so I think we found like every. Oh, you like found secret doors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
didn't
no,
you?
she found everything. Fake
Yeah.
bottom. even.
I was curious about the hole because I was wondering what the initial attraction was because we know like
Yeah.
they clearly we have a note they blew up the wall to get goods treasure,
Yeah.
but what was it like? That was like a cave, unfinished part of the basement. Like
Great
why
call.
would why would they be blowing holes in the wall down there? Like
So
what are
maybe
they expecting to find
exactly.
behind that?
So maybe you head down there while you're looking for the dwarven petrified person, and you sort of take a moment to reinvestigate. And again, you're reminded of yesterday or this morning's battle. And as you look around the explosion, you realize that under the rubble there is a heavy dwarven metal door that was blown clean off its hinges and must have been lost in the rubble and the fighting because you sort of all ignored it moving past it.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
So you sort of surmise, based on the evidence that you will later find with Bria, but that there must have been something enticing about this door. And looking at its dwarven architecture, there's a fair judgment that, okay, this basement of this temple, maybe there is something of value behind here. Obviously, they use that as a motivation to try to break in.
So I had when we first walked into this, I had been looking for things like tapestries or any sort of carvings, anything to indicate was previously done. If we take this door and maybe look at what would have been the front, is there any sort of emblem that was carved into this that wouldn't have faded like it would on wood or something?
Great question. Unfortunately, because dynamite blew it off its hinges, it's not as pristine, but you do get the impression that it has similar iconography as the front door that's moss covered, which again depicts symbols that you would associate with the night, i.e. darkness, sort of the moon, and that same figure of a dwarven warrior standing before some sort of goddess, perhaps.
Okay. We matched, like, when we were looking at this dwarf when he was petrified too, and we saw the really, really old armor.
Yeah.
This, we knew for sure that it was from the before times. It all matches? It's not like it was some...
No, it matches. And as you, like, lean the petrified dwarf forward, his petrified eyes sort of meet yours, and for a moment, you're sort of taken aback to this time before all this, and maybe your heart palpitates with excitement thinking that this is somebody that's essentially been petrified for anywhere between 100 to thousands of years. It could be so useful, what he says, and maybe the two of you begin dragging him upstairs, a little bit excited about what prospect that could hide. Meanwhile, Brea and the Tortle Tappert have been having a discussion about really nothing. Tappert seems really keen on quill making, and he sort of seems to steer the conversation back towards that at any given moment. Not in an annoying way, I mean Liz, but more in like, you know how a grandparent might, like, they'll talk and they'll listen and they'll nod, but then they kind of always revert back to the same stories that they're talking about. They're like, yeah, well, when I worked at this, and it's like constantly, it seems like that's really where his mindset's at. And you have learned a fair amount about quills.
Great.
Don't you have a cartography set as well? Is this going to add to that?
I do not, but I am learning about quills.
A good quill.
He says as he like pulls out like a roll of like all these quills.
Yeah. Well, Brea politely sort of pats the back of his hand and stands up, and she says, "Well, it's getting late, Tappert. Thank you so much for the very instructive lesson about quills, fascinating stuff. And again, I apologize for the intrusion, and I will report back to Meduline that you are here. You didn't happen to have met your neighbor Davis, did you?"
No.
Oh.
I haven't had much time to meet many people other than Omazamen, who was a very wonderful chap. I ate dinner with him multiple times. He often eats in the tavern below.
Yes. Do you anything else remarkable about Omazuman? He is also missing, unfortunately.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you checked his room?
Yes, we have.
Ah, yes. You understand my questioning, because they said I was missing and I was here.
He gestures under the bed.
That's a good point.
I hope my friend is all right. He knew much about that temple in this place. He shared some information with it every once in a while. He also spoke of someone who visited the place not too long ago.
Who was that?
He didn't say his name, but I believe Avar was the other person who he spoke to about it. Some mystical man who seemed to, well, dare I believe it, but who apparently lived here during the long night. Apparently lives out west of here. A benevolent man is what he said. He informed Omazamin a lot about what the temple's original purpose was, but he drifted out of town as soon as he drifted in, probably wary of people asking him too many questions about what happened before.
Understandably. Well, perhaps I'll have to speak with Avar about that.
Yes. Good luck.
Have a good night.
You too.
She moonwalks out of the room.
And he like crawls towards the bed, and you just see him like shift under the bed as he like gets back to his little.
So cute. I
dark-
love
That's
that he has
adorable.
this like instinct to get like under and inside of something.
Yeah, well,
so
like
happy.
as you were, and like as the conversation that had been preceded sort of reveals, you know, he's trying to develop quills for people to write in dark dungeons, and he's like needs the darkest thing to
That's
make sure,
awesome.
like he's got these weird, stupid reasons for doing all this stuff, and he's got like a really slow metabolism, so he like eats once every 6 days and just like hangs out there and
That's why no one's seen him. 'cause
and like
he's
fall,
just, like,
yeah, and that's it, and then he just like falls asleep.
That's great.
And then like wakes up and continues working. And I love the idea that like when this happened, someone came up and Cole was like, "Tappet, are you here?" And then like
just
no one's
fast
there.
asleep.
Looks around.
Like
and he's just fast asleep.
4
He just
minutes
shuts the
later,
door
he's
again.
like, "Yes, I'm here."
It's great.
Could I get
Anyway,
a cup of tea.
Brea, you are exhausted. I assume you sort of.
Yeah, I go to bed and I pull the covers up around me and I wait for my companions to come back to the room. I'm not going to go look for them.
Perfect. And I think Cole and Garrus, in a hushed tone, Cole sort of matches your eyes and he says,
My brother, before he passed away, he had been keeping a few things from me, things I found out after he died. Yesterday morning, I came across this.
and he hands you a small parcel. And as you open it up and read over it, you have a feeling sort of in the back of your throat. Sort of one that has come across your mind before. And Cole looks down at it and back at you and says,
I don't trust many people here, and I don't think many people understand exactly what it means to owe someone your life, like I did my brother. But I think maybe you'd understand. Will you help me?
He looked down and looked back up and just like he like folded back over and be like, "Of course I will."
Thank you.
and I think he like hangs there for a moment as like Brea goes to bed and Kala and Sal drag the petrified corpse up to the room. And after a few moments, you know, the bar is still and quiet, and we see the door open up. And Kala and Sal bring in this large barrel, not in uproarious sound, but in like triumph. You know, you've been lifting and heaving and moving for so long that as you drag this barrel in, you sort of put it down and breathe heavily, and you hear sort of the shaking of dice in the cup as Lewis is off to your left. And yeah, the two of you have brought the barrel back.
I would like to wait for Cole, if he can possibly return to his in the bartender duties for whatever reason, even just to hear the noise of this arrival.
Yeah. And as you sort of wait and linger, the sound of the dice falling out of the cup over and over eventually causes you to turn your head, and Lewis just says, "Nah, they're gone. He left." And he turns around again, sort of sitting on the back of the chair with a squeak. "Cole and your friend Garrus. He left this." And Lewis sort of hands you a small piece of paper. And you can see Garrus's distinctive script.
Beautiful.
What does it say, Garrus?
It will say, "My friends, I pledge to help you, and I will keep that pledge. But something has come to my attention. Something I didn't know until now was very close to my heart, and I must pursue it. I can't promise that I will be back, but I do intend to come back." And then, let me see. This will be he's written. He's like, "Okay, what the fuck should I say now? Let me see now. Alright. Okay, I've got it right down then. Hold strong to your mission. Stay alive. And I will be back to see you, if I possibly can, to rejoin you, and more good days. Do not worry about me. I'm doing what I must. I'm doing what is right for me. Your friend, Garrus.
And I think we're going to end it there for tonight. Oops. Wrong.
Motherfucking Garrus.
That's the reverb.
I'm Garrus. That's my motherfucking name. I'm Garrus. That's the motherfucking game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. That was a blast.
Who's gonna
Yes.
run the fucking bar now?
Who's gonna run the fucking bar? Don't worry, Lewis is
Lewis.
Lewis is actually like 50. It's
Yeah.
all been like a bit of a ploy. He's
Oh my
like an
God.
old man.
He's gonna turn it into a fucking casino.
You keep calling him a child, and he's
Emmanuel
like, yeah,
Lewis.
no, I'm good.
Are you telling me that Sal just dragged up this goddamn barrel just to be like, oh, Cole's gone. Don't worry about it.
The ultimate way to get back at you. To make you do
Uppins
more.
has come.
Yeah, Uppins has come. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. This was, of course, Hereafter, the First Fire, Chapter 10. We'll be back next week with Chapter 11. Unfortunately, Garrus will not be with us next week. He is on a bit of a vacation, but that's okay.
He's got a mish.
He's got his own mish. But we will be back
Damn
next
cool.
week. Perhaps we'll have a guest star. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. We'll see how it's going to happen. Oh, look, Erica got excited.
I'm excited.
Crossed
I was not aware of this information. This is a
Well, I
wonderful
don't know.
new
Star.
I haven't really
hygiene.
decided yet,
Star.
but we'll see. That is it from us. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. And as always, as my good friend Garrus always likes to say,
Do have a happy Christmas if that's what you want. You know, drink a lot of shit and then eat it and then shit it back out. That's what we do.
eat shit, drink it, and shit it back
That's
out.
what we
Good night,
do.
ladies and gentlemen.